Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon of Magnetic Service. We've reached the end of the day. This is what we have come to know as a mini channel. We come to know this because this is what we would normally do at this point in time. You're about to leave. If I told you that not only is every ear connected to a human known by God, but the ones in this room known by God, known. If you could hear your name right now, in a way perhaps through the ethers that you could recognize, and it whispered, it says, I know you. In some way, almost every human would fall down and realize they had been touched in such a way that there was no question that God knew them. And if that was the plan here, that would be the way of it. But it isn't. You have got to ask, am I known? Dear ones, the plan requires this free choice. It requires it. With free choice and intent, it starts to then change the consciousness. Instead of something being given to you or handed to you or saying this is just the way of it, you had to, by yourself, investigate, at least for a moment, to say, is there more? Could it be? What if? And that's what has led every single one of you as old souls to the place where you are now. Because at some level in some past life, some place, you asked, you made the decision. It's an interesting set of personality traits with old souls. Number one, lack of self-worth. Number two, fear of almost everything. And you know it. So many of you have passed those places where you don't have the fear of this or that anymore, and you're pleased or happy with yourself or feel that you've passed certain markers, and you'd be right. But there's so many who haven't. There are so many of you listening to my voice right now, and this is the first you heard of it. You have come from so much sorrow. Some in this life, but mostly, dear ones, mostly in what you've experienced in the past lives of this planet. The horror of war, loss of loved ones, children dying in your arms. There was a time when lots of kids simply didn't survive childbirth. Moms, you went through that. And so here you are in this place today with all of that is still surging through that part of you which is the consciousness of what we call the Akash. What do you do? Here's where it gets good. This is a new energy. And the new energy carries with it attributes of help that I have talked about over and over. Things are not the way they used to be. And if you are one who even starts to remember or feel or fear or doubt, it all comes from that place of experience where you saw the reasons why. And you saw it big time. You are sitting in an energy today that is not the energy of yesterday. This is not your grandfather's world, dear ones. This is yours. And this particular world and this particular civilization and what is happening all around you, including the areas of space that your earth is heading for, are all enhancing the potential of what's coming. And part of that is the ability, with requests from you, for you to take all of the things that you've experienced in the past, in other lifetimes, and even this lifetime, and suppress them so that you'll barely know or remember they were there. All of that you've had to go through. Can you imagine how that imprints on a human being? Lifetime after lifetime of suffering. It makes being a human something you don't necessarily enjoy. And here you are again, and all of that seemingly is there, but it isn't. Dear ones, that is clearable, really clearable. All of it. The things of this life are included, and they include those things that are so difficult. Grief, betrayal, fear of any kind. You are sitting in an energy right now where Spirit is at your side, willing to show you things you didn't know you could do. What's the limit, do you think? If you need healing in this room or you're listening, what's the limit? How much can you heal? What you've asked for, perhaps, just a little more or a little better. What if it was way beyond that? What if there is a system of help that is now so new and so spectacular, and it deals right with this area of human consciousness, past life, Akashic remembrance, all of these things that seem so esoteric, but every old soul needs it. It's almost like a reboot. You passed the marker. You're here on purpose. You came down to this planet to be here right now. Don't you think there should be some things to help? And there are. Oh, there are some that say, you got my interest, Kryon. I'd like to not suffer through this anymore. I'd like to have more self-worth, and I don't want to be afraid of things. You just took the first step. The next step is to declare you're not. I no longer suffer from Akashic remembrances that are less than magnificent. I no longer suffer from Akashic remembrance that are not magnificent. I no longer fear the things that I was told to fear. I am light. I am known by God, by name. By name. Did you know that these things are yours, old soul? Or did you think you're going to have to slam through them like you did before? You're going to have to go up against dark energy and battle it. That's over. That's over. All ages are represented in the ears that hear me now. But all you have one thing in common. Old soul, you're not here by accident. None of you. I want you to leave this place with the knowledge that there is so much more in the field for you than you had any idea. No matter how young you are, no matter what you think is your age, there are things here hovering that are beyond that which you have ever desired, and they include the healing of fear. They include that healing of betrayal. They include the healing of grief. They include the healing of self-worth issues. And you would say to that so many times, as any human would, they would say, I love that whole idea. What do I have to do? And the answer is, be here. Understand. Start the affirmations that talk about it. I no longer am subject to any of those things in my past life remembrances that are less than magnificent. I challenge you to say that before you go to sleep, when you wake up, before you go to sleep, and when you wake up. That'd be in anyone's book twice a day at the most poignant times of relaxation and awareness, when you have nothing else to do and there's no phones ringing. And your body will start to react and remember and actually take the help that I've given you, the information of which is possible. It's new. They are solutions given by Spirit to esoteric issues that you need to have solved before you go to some of the next steps. You know you do. You know you do. Because some of these things are debilitating to so many. You are not here to suffer on this planet. Spirit did not put you here with a model of suffering. That has all been something you have done on your own. It's time to stop it. Stop it. There's help. And Spirit is going to give you these things as you ask for them, and you don't have to know the minutiae of how it's done, dear ones. If you believe that you are a creature of divinity, that you have God inside, there's a reason for you to be here, you know that there are esoteric things that you don't understand. You know that. And the angels gather around you and hold your hands and say, blessed is the human being who will go to places that they trust even though they don't know why, because they see the sacredness and the love and the compassion and the beauty and the smiles of the energy around them. And that is the truth. Today, that's the truth. Old soul, we need you to go there. Leave this place differently than you came. And some will. And so it is.